Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We're back discussing the lottery reform. We got three questions to discuss today. Well, three topics, I should say, to discuss today. Uh, we'll just get right into it. First of all, why are we talking directly about the lottery director? What has he done, and why, more or less, are we pointing him out?
So the reason we point in directly to the director is few things. Due diligence. We all have a job to do the due diligence. Example, see if I'm selling a lottery ticket, right? I should make my employees acknowledgeable that what to do, what not to do when they sell a ticket. I mean to say lottery ticket. When they sell it, if they did made a mistake, what should be done at that time. Per se, if they made a mistake, should they actually take action at right in there, or should they wait? Or even let's say people didn't check their ticket and come back a few minutes later or half hour later to say, hey, look, I know I just played this lottery ticket and this is the mistake you made. So then should be a cancel it or replace it or whatever the case may be. Just like say Mega Million on Powerball and certain tickets you cannot be, they're uncancelable. They cannot cancel it. So then what do you do for it? Trying to make the customer understand to keep it, or whether just give a chance to the customer and take it and give it back to the rep when they come in. So that's the proper steps. Since it's not cancelable, you should take that ticket and give it to the lottery rep when he comes in and get the credit for it. Same thing, the director should have teach every managers and the uh, reps that what the proper step they should have taken uh, by follow the rules and regulations. Director is just taking it a little bit out and not giving retailers a chance who are the one making hard work, who actually bread and butter for the lottery agency. Turn to think about it. Well, if this retailer is not going to do anything, what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing. So now, as of what the decision he's been making it, um, he can turn around and says, you know what, retailers, I don't need you. I can go online and then you can go on a side just because we can, or just because I can per se. So then, what the retailer going to do at that time? They don't have absolutely no say so because he's going to make that call. Before he do that, don't let him be dictator and let's just go for it. Raise your voice and get the better outcome out of it.
Also, wanted to add, obviously, with the director himself has so much power and so much ability to do things that it becomes where if there was someone to be held responsible for misdoings in the last couple of years or at whatever time frame, it would be him. He is, and since he has taken over, I believe 2 years ago, he obviously has became what we would call a judge, jury, and executioner, doing it all, which can be good, can be bad. In this case, we obviously believe bad because we are in the U.S., we have a democracy, whereas in this case, it seems like it's just like a hierarchy or, you know, like a one power kind of thing. Um, the next question I'm going to
So
bring.
I'm just gonna make a one little correction on that, what you just said. So it's not 2 years it took. Actually, But 4 years ago, the previous director resigned, so he actually just become automatically because he was the assistant director, and now he got more power in his hand. And last 2 years, technically, Governor Moore should have a change it to him because he's always be appointed by governor. And when it's got change, he should be had or director should have some of the interviews done by past January or somewhere that period of time, and should be the new director appointed somewhere around February and March. However, not sure what Governor Moore has done it, but it's not been changed. So that being said, it's continuously total now is 4 years so far.
Um, I'm gonna move on to our next question. Why commission is a big deal for retailers and yeah.
So again, the retailer. So here's how the lottery thinking actually. Lottery thinking is that because of lottery, customer comes in. No, that's untrue. It's actually because the service is getting provided by the retailers. That's why the customer comes in to other places. Well, whatever the business we're doing, that's the most important business, and lottery is the second. So answer the question is why is so important. The reason is important. Who does all the works? Technical point of view. If the retailer didn't do their job, it wouldn't be that much income generated, or I should say that's a third largest income for the state. So if the retailer not putting that effort out, in fact, I mean, a lot of the retailer like me throwing Christmas parties and July 4th parties and kino parties or racetrack parties, we invest our money and give away the stuff to have that customer come back to us, or not just come back, but make them feel good, welcoming, that they are doing something for us. So all the money that we put out and make customer happy, or who customer gonna be mad, where they gonna take it out at on us. So again, we are supposed to receive rewards from the lottery agency. It was a day, I would say, when we first started it, they actually come to us and be like, hey, can you please, can you tell your friend to get the lottery in his place, or can you talk, I was the one actually tried it longest time with the Subway franchisee to put Maryland State Lottery in there. But again, all this with the new director never has been seen. We are the one who worked it hard. Actually, it was a time, even I'm speaking today, but it was a time that was from the heart that I loved the lottery. But what I receive in a return? Absolutely nothing. Um, the higher people like commissions and no ones. I mean, I'm waiting to speak to them, and still hasn't got done yet. So that's why I decided for the time that we have put it in, they should receive the chance. Again, we got a sidetrack out of it, but so that being said, all this hard work that retailer puts out, they're supposed to be receiving rewards for it. Second, when you receive all those commission, I mean to say all those, meaning you're still not going to get more, but that 2% or 3% they're trying to cut it off, that 3% is make us go a long way. Cause that 3%, we don't think second time to hire, extra employees. But since that not been there, we have to think about the parties that we're gonna put it out. We have to think about it, the employees that we're gonna hire, and since that higher amount or the state has a change minimum wage, where are we going to get the money from? That 3% or 2% that they're trying to cut it off, that was extra additional money for the hiring the employees.
I'm gonna move on to our third question. That is, why don't we think the lottery commission should be there?
So it's very simple. Um, in my business, if I'm going to hire a manager, right? What is a job for a manager? That manager is going to take care of the hiring, firing, what good, what bad, what need to be get it done, or if he made a mistake, I am the one who's overlooking. So commission job will be is that director doing something wrong, they should be overlooking. Therefore, it should be the rules and regulation applies on directors saying, nope, if any retailer feels that it's something wrong, then he has a right to come to the commission. As of right now, there is no right to go to commission. So if director has all the powers that what he's been saying it, then why are we paying them? Use that money to pay the retailers and make them happy. And very simple. Their job is just sitting there and doing what? Just make the decision. Well, no, we are the one who's dealing with the public. It's supposed to ask us whether or not if this any of the new game should be more appropriate or not, and then director making decision anyway. So that's very simple answer. If the director doing everything, then why are we paying them? Very simple way.
To reiterate, it's like paying a group of fleas to do, not do anything. It makes zero sense to spend taxpayer dollars that could be used not even just for retailers to earn more money, but it could be used in better places like school systems or, uh, you know, public transportation. Basically what we use government funding for. And having a group that we're paying X amount to just do
Doing
nothing.
nothing. Absolutely. I mean, certainly they can argue they won, but think logically. Is it logic there? That loud and clearly all the rules it says by director, by director, by director, by director, and in fact director saying it that I don't have to give anybody a hearing until and unless I want to. It's kind of similar in that language, in a simple language to put it out.
And I have a question: is how much is the percent now for like your commission that you would take home?
So actually, the newer one they're trying to pursue is 5.5%, and actually, yeah, I still have to look at it, but 5.5% and 1% to the casting a ticket. So it's right around the 6% they're trying to get out of it, 6.5, somewhere that range. They used to be, quite honest with you, when the Governor Hogan was here, that was no problem whatsoever. And our commission was sky high. I mean, it was a better 6.5% and 3%. Yes, he did make a difference. So what's the difference today? Suddenly, that's a logic you need to use.
So, but a major point to definitely bring up is when you go to look at it. I mean, for every $1 million brought in by a lottery retailer, that retailer's only taking home $55,000 if they pass that bill. Yes, $55,000 is a lot of money, but after you talk about obviously payroll, you talk about rent and other expenses, that 55,000 is nowhere,
Oh,
right?
correct.
I mean, what would you say is how much you would pay an employee for in a liquor store at least in a year.
So again, I mean, the state rules a state minimum, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pay the state minimum. So, well, back in the days when the Governor Hogan was there, the state minimum was around $11, right? Now it's close to 15. Or nobody want to work without paying somebody $15 an hour, right? Uh, Used to it, $11 plus healthy commission. So the expense that I just said a little while ago, throwing all the parties and doing some fun stuff. Plus, the lot of time we give it out the bonus to the employees because they work hard. So the channel should be that little dollar money that they're making, so the employees, then me, then the reps, and goes higher and higher, right? That's how the thinking should be. If those little employees never got rewarded, why are they gonna care about it? Be like, whatever, you know. So that's what we're leaning into it at this today's date. Um, Governor Moore has to think about it too, if he really pushing for this bill.
Um, After a quick calculation, it would cost over $30,000 for one full time employee at minimum wage, working 40 hours a week. At you minus 55,000 minus 30,000, let's even say, you're left with 25. And how many retailers are obviously doing a million plus? So how much room is there for owners or anybody to actually make a profit? So that's another question that we lean into. And why are we paying the 945,000 that there is to the lottery when we're not even able to cover, our basis?
Correct. And that's what it's going to come down to. I guarantee you. Little by little, everybody's going to say, whatever, why should we care about it? Because if I worry about making that $55,000, but yet if I have a bottle of liquor, that it's somebody going to steal it. So making a 5 cents off $1 versus making more money from the liquor area, right? At least I would say about 25 to 30 cents per dollar, right? So why would I worry about the lottery customer? It's very simple. Like it will come down to like, you know what? Let it go. And if the governor more not gonna sit down and discuss this with the retailer and think about it, pretty soon this income gonna go drastically down because retailer not gonna care about it.
And I believe that the lottery is, at this moment, the second or third largest income generator for the state. You know,
That has been.
yeah,
It's
long time
been a
now.
long time now.
And obviously, with that said, I mean, you have less money coming in from the lottery. What ends up happening is you have less money to fund, like we said, your public services, your roads, your, general development of the state. That is a big problem, especially in Maryland, considering we are a developing state, more or less. We are a place that is, you know, growing, and we've seen a rise in population and everything. And with that all said, we have to make sure that we, obviously protect our state as well. It's not even just about the retailers, it's about everybody. We keep adding more and more of this, right? But now, people like Raj here who are a retailer, and they can't sit there and say that, hey, the lottery is somewhere that I can reasonably run my business off of anymore. If you can't run your business, why would I focus on that?
And you know what's unfair from the government? All the state employees get the higher dollar now, right? No, from the raise, but decreasing us, where who's making a little dollar. So even for Governor Moore, uh, isn't it like unfair thing that I'm raising state people's money, but yet who's making a pennies and generating income for the state? I'm going to take money away from there. I mean,
I,
does it make sense?
I definitely agree. I mean, you got to consider the fact that you got state employees, which I'm not going to sit there and say like not all of them don't work hard. I'm sure a lot of them do, but you shouldn't supplement their income by taking it from those that are on the front line. And anybody that has worked customer service can tell you firsthand it is one of the hardest things to do. Only because you have so many requests by customers, you have so many things you got to ensure you do right so something's not wrong. Especially anybody that has worked in somewhere that does lottery. Um, there, it's a complex system. Yes, it's easy to learn, but it's a very complex system and a lot of factors to ensuring you do everything right for people. If those people are getting taken them or their money is taken away, why are we taking money from them to then supplement the people that are doing the background work that aren't having to deal with as many problems? They get to obviously just sit in an office or wherever they do their work and do what they have to do and call it a day. Whereas the person that wakes up early, gets to their job, is there late, does everything throughout the day, deals with all the requests, and has to comply by everything, they get paid less. Doesn't make any sense.
Right. I mean, if they don't even realize how much thing we deal with, because not everybody's mood is same every day. We're taking a lot of stuff from the customer and make sure they're happy. So again, the it just feels like the smaller people get first one to get screwed than bigger people. Um, the you know Now is the debate is if governor did it or the lottery did it. Regardless of anything, is unfairness to the retailers. And if no one does anything now, it will be a nightmare down the road because they're not going to help it out to the small people. Basically, Governor Moore saying it, I take jobs from the little people to pay the people who are already making the money. Yes, it is unfair who's working hard that deserve the money. However, that question mark is while there's somebody making it close to $100,000 or $70,000, and the those folks who barely gonna make it $25,000, $30,000 just to put food on the table for a family, taking the job away from them. So as a government wise, Governor Moore really have to rethink in this. If he just signs it paper, the other situation will be acknowledgeable is that when any governors or any local politics, they're trying to run it, then they need a funding, right? So a lot of the owners has to write a check, and what the governor Moore is saying is, oh, thanks for writing me a check. I'm gonna take your money first before I take anybody else's. So that will be challengeable for um, local politics and everybody else to say, hey, should we write this check because our income gonna get less and we are the first target person that who's making 100,000, they're gonna receive more, and then we are gonna be less. So yeah, definitely it needs to have a little change by Governor Moore too.
With all that said, I do believe that has answered all of the topics and hopefully enlightened all of you on things that you guys should be aware of, whether you're obviously a retailer and or just somebody trying to understand more about the business, where or whatever your credentials are, obviously. Uh, if if you could, it would be greatly appreciated if you follow our Facebook page and uh, join our WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group, we post information. We are hosting a meeting on December 2nd at 6 p.m. on the Holiday Inn. Uh, the address is 11200 York Road, Cockeysville, Maryland. Please come if you can. Be lovely. We are also going to host it virtually on Zoom, so if need be, join the WhatsApp. We will send out a message in there for all of you. Thank you.